Alrighty, hello and welcome back, guys. We're pushing hard towards the end of the year. I have been sent another deal review like these ones. Try to keep them as simple and high level as possible. Not financial advice, but when people send me a property and go, "Hey, Dave, give me a 10 cents. What do you think about this?" More than happy to put a video together, not only for them, but to share it on the internet with all you strangers, and hopefully there is some sort of value that you can get out of this. If there is, would appreciate if you subscribe. We are we have a week till the end of the year. Christmas Eve at the moment. We have a week to the end of the year, trying to get to 2,500 subscribers. Might be falling a little bit short on that, but you're going to keep on pushing and showing up for you guys anyway. So if you can, please subscribe, send me the deals you want me to have a look at, and this deal is nonetheless, I'll approach this the same as I do the others. It's in Mildura, Victoria. Everyone knows Mildura. What's really cool, past 6 months has seen exceptional growth, 5%, 11% over the last year, 22% over 3 years, 50%, 53% over 5 years, and over 10 years, 110%. Great performance. Let's have a look at the data side, shall we? Alrighty, so might be my internet connection there, not bringing it up, but one of the cool and interesting things to think about with Mildura is typical 3-bedroom sells for 520, typical 4-bedroom sells for 659, 660. So 140 grand difference, maybe a bit of arbitrage play if demand is there. So let's scroll down and see if it has demand, but 514k, 460. We're looking mid for as a rental yield, not bad. Capital growth, RCS and lower risk score, not the best capital growth, but great for cash flow. Also, more than enough dwellings and population to satisfy absolutely anyone. A little bit of flood risk, we know that with Mildura, and significant infrastructure spend. Let's go through the rest of it. Now, what's interesting here, we're seeing rents rise consistently, price rise consistently. Yield should be dropping as price rises, which is correct. Growth rate cycle. Have a look at the growth rate cycle of Mildura since sort of 2010, 2012. It has been on a phenomenal run. So if you timed it here and you got into Mildura in 2012 or 2013, God knows what the typical price was back then in 2012. Maybe we can have a look. Let's have a look just for funsies. 2012. Anyone buy Mildura in 2012? Because you timed the market pretty well. Typical price, 180 grand. That's unbelievable. It's on a run. What's really interesting about this market compared to others is that its dip was only as low as sort of 3%, whereas a lot of markets, as you guys would see over these videos, have ducked and done minus 5%. So Mildura holds some sort of credibility in its market for sure. We're at some sort of peak of the cycle as indicated through here. But again, solid market, and it looks like, 26 and beyond, we're still going to have above that typical standard growth rate cycle. 207, so on the lower side, 37% rent to owner ratio. The more of these I do, the more I say that is pretty much on par. The interesting thing is that there's a lot of 3-bedroom demand. There's not as much 4-bedroom demand. So that arbitrage play, I'm gonna ask you guys whether or not you want to make a decision on if you want to do that. What's really interesting is the affordability index still sits at 29.7 years to own. So that will still have a lot of heat in the market, in my opinion. Usually when we see that get up over 35, that's when it starts to be not the best option. However, 2 had 37 rented to owner ratio. That's still lower than a lot of other markets. Let's look at the rest of the data. So listings are quite consistent. This is tracking some sort of increase over the short term, but pretty average stock on market there. Inventory is increasing slightly. We've got 1.35 months worth of stock on market or inventory. Building approvals have increased short-term. Couple there to investigate and look into. People like to live and stay there 9 months. Vacancy rate. Now, this is the sort of interesting part. Vacancy rate and days on market. Days on market have been dropping off and are non-existent. Well, were non-existent 2 months ago. That was in November. So October. Not sure what happened there. The markets. One thing you probably want to dig into and have a look here is the vacancy rate. So vacancy rate has been increasing over time. So is that because this is investor market, and that would indicate that yes, days on market are hot because a lot of investors are in there? Potentially, because there's not a lot of pressure in the supply side. That's the only issue. There's demand there, but you've got to think, who are the people trying to buy there? Could still be owner-occupiers, definitely, because the affordability levels. But just one to note, once the vacancy rate starts hiking, it looks like it's on the right way here, on the right way down. But 30 days on market, super tight, relatively high vacancy rate. So I want to be talking to some people on the ground to get the most out of that. Let's have a look at map view on where and what this is. All right, so if you're just playing along, we know Melbourne, Victoria is here. We go northwest past Bendigo, all the way up, follow the river. Mildura, here it is up here. And the particular listing is pretty much bang in the heart of Mildura. So what I like about this at the start is that we are some distance away from the Murray River, and we're probably located on the better side of town for that, rather than being, located in these streets here, just from a flooding perspective. So and I think I've spotted the main issue with this one, and that is going to be its proximity to Deakin Avenue, Stewart Highway. Now, I had a chat with a person regarding this as well the other day. And guys, the issue is that you can do anything you want to the house. You can make any changes you want. What you can't change is that there is a highway here pretty much next door. And if you zoom out, it's not just any highway. It is the main highway through Mildura that everyone is going to use to head into town, to head out of town, to head to the airport, to head, if they were going here and they're heading north, or if they're heading east or whatever. That's going to be the main issue, I believe, in my opinion. If I duck down here, so it was up for let. This is the house here. Again, it's not a bad street, but my issue is going to be, this. 2-lane highway, 4-lane highway out the front, and that's your house there. Now, don't get me wrong, some heavy tree and shrub, but I wouldn't be buying this close, me personally. Apart from that, is there any other red flags that we can see on this? So, school zone 2. So I didn't see that on the, let's have a look again. Okay, that's again going to be another issue, because you're going to have so much school traffic, people really coming in and trying to service the school. Where are the cars going in? Entry there. Yeah. I reckon that is going to be a very, very busy intersection and not going to be great because of it. So, apart from that, let's see. This is 2015. Geez, Google Maps, get your shit together. Head down to Mildura. We haven't seen what it looks like relatively. So, no real massive changes, but I think your main issue is going to be school zone, school days. I mean, book, if you're curious as well, and this is something, I'd be going down there in those days just to see what it's like. But that would be my red flag and my reason not to buy it. Mildura market doesn't look terrible from a data perspective. Okay, so no agent property. This looks like it is potentially sold by owner-occupier, which could be a red flag. $4,000 per week. $4,000 per week for Airbnb? Man, if that is doing $4,000 a week, that's $200,000 a year. I don't know why you'd sell that then. Multiple livings, 3 bedrooms, all with built-in robes. Why is it listed as 4 then? Does it have... And this is another issue when you get people that aren't agents to sell it. Yeah, look at the state of these properties. Look at the state of the photos. It's like they've been taken on a Nokia 3315. Minimal landscaping. I think one thing you need to watch as well when they don't have a... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to find this floor plan somewhere else. And easy as that. Now, let's have a look at this floor plan. Okay, so one thing you need to watch out for as well is this is a 3-bedroom. It's advertised as a 4-bedroom. This is not entry. I suppose it's not a bad layout. You might want to look to get rid of those to open up this area. All bedrooms are a decent size, but your issue here is going to be this sleep out or external living is probably not approved as a bedroom. Hence why it says 3 bedrooms. I think as well, very weird that to get to this, you need to walk outside, or if you live in this bedroom, you need to either walk through the garage or outside. So I'd say that's a 3-bedroom with lipstick on the pig. Yeah, such a shame. This is the issue. People try to do it themselves. Don't take the photos yourselves. Pay a photographer a couple of $100 and get them done yourselves, please, guys. In terms of mapping as well, I don't know if you guys know, but Vic Plans obviously got their own site that you can come in and do all the overlays and check it on. There's no real issues in terms of overlays, although the proximity to the main road. Bit of an unusually shaped block. Usually we like the ones that are sort of this size and in here, but... because here you have a lot of frontage and not much privacy and not much backyard. So that's one issue. If I put it as well... So once I chuck it into Land Checker and I chuck on some overlays, I see it being very similar. No real hazards or issues. Any planning proposals... Yeah. Look, not much in terms of overlays and risk. I think the main issue for this site is going to be the location proximity to the main highway. That would be my reason to say no. And also some discrepancies around, are they trying to sell it for a 4-bedroom price compared to 3-bedroom? That's another issue. So for me, if it is Mildura, this wouldn't be it. I'd be coming, we want to be in these pockets here. We want to be in these pockets here, not on these main thoroughfares or, Deacon Avenue, which is also referred to as that Stewart Highway. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you buy this one? Or let me know what your thoughts are on Mildura. As always, guys, talk to you tomorrow.